Character design for Futurama falls into a couple of categories. We usually in each episode may have a ton of new characters based on some planet we've never been to before, or we may have just a radical departure of how our characters appear. So when we get the script from the writers, the first thing we do is a design breakdown where we break down all the designs that'll be necessary either for character, background, or prop. And we have our own awesome team of designers that work really closely with the director and Pete, our supervising director, on inventing whatever's necessary for a specific episode.
Character design is the designing of the characters that are in our show. It ranges from the characters who are in our show every week, like Fry, Bender, Leela. Also, it includes new characters in the show.
Aye, I'll help ye for a cut of the booty.
Tarpon was a sea captain, so I pretty much looked at a bunch of references from sea creatures, sea plants, and so I wanted him to be a sea alien. We added a bunch of elements from sea plants, animals, just so he looks like he belongs to the ocean.
Matt's style is so strong and specific that it's actually fairly easy to adapt to. And I think our designers have gotten just really great at working within that style.
I think that's the funnest part about this project is coming up with new characters and developing your own and showing them what you got, but still keeping it in the style of Futurama. Key element of this character design is trying to have the overbite there.
And having a walleye. As long as we keep that in the style, it kind of sells the idea that it's drawn in the Matt Groening style.
Well, enough governing. It's Saturday morning, damn it. Let's watch some cartoons.
We have to, A, make the characters fit with the other characters in the show. B, evoke whatever emotion or characteristics there are, like if it's a railroad working robot, he probably should clearly look like he works on the railroad. You should look at that design and say, that guy works on the railroad.
I think that's the fun of Futurama. You're not just designing another robot. There's usually a genre attached to it and storytelling attached to it that really makes it fun to design those characters.
We have 2 to 3 to sometimes 4 character designers working at a time, depending on the show. Some shows have armies in them, and some shows have one new character in them. So it kind of varies from show to show.
This season, we've had a couple of challenging designs. One was a flame creature, which appears in an episode where the Planet Express team ends up sort of fighting this great fire on the sun, and Bender inadvertently brings back a stowaway who's a serial arsonist.
Greetings, Bender. Thank you for transporting me from the sun to your helpless, flammable planet.
How could a fire learn to talk?
His description was very minor. It was just the flame creature. So it was a challenge to sort of come up with something that could talk and act and have personality and also is constantly animating because he's literally a flame.
If I can't rule the sun, I shall ignite your planet and rule here instead.
When we draw a new character, they're basically pretty much humanoid for the most part, unless they're an alien, and we follow the existing mouth charts. But for him, he was like this unique moving flame, so I had to figure out how organically his mouth would move and still hold this really cool, sinister vibe, and also keep it Futurama style mouth. So it was kind of fun to come up with all those mouth shapes.
We also have a very sort of classic fairy tale episode where Leela undergoes a pretty major transformation by the end of the episode.
Leela develops squidification in one episode, and she goes through about 5 different stages where her arms start to get suction cups, and then they turn into tentacles. She sprouts tentacles to the point where she's just a big mass of tentacles with her face.
I'm keeping her same head, but I'm eliminating her body completely and just elongating it. She's a little taller than she would normally be because she's basically just a stretched out mass of tentacles that are sliming along. I don't know. But that was kind of fun because they're just a bunch of overlapping shapes, but it comes together to look like a bunch of tentacles.
And other times we might have to design our characters in styles of different shows, like several different Saturday morning versions, which were a lot of fun to do for the designers.
This was another challenge. We went back and forth as far as like, should we make him a robotic dog or should we just keep him as is, but put him on all fours? So I gave him little spots, pretty much stylized him to fit that genre of character design.
Each season's a new challenge, and this was no exception. A lot of new characters to design. As always, it's a challenge to make them new and fresh and funny.
I think we broke the barrier with characters. There was a ton of characters, a ton of great backgrounds, a ton of different environments that we covered, different genres of characters as well. It was a lot of fun for me. I love working on different styles of shows and coming up with different characters for those shows.
I like drawing robots and monsters and aliens and all that stuff, but I especially like when they ask me to kind of design something in the show in a cutesy style because it's really close to how I naturally draw things. I tend to draw things really cute and small and big eyes.
We really don't half-ass anything, and I think whether, you know, a design appears incidentally or is, you know, a major new design, we really sort of pour our hearts into it, and I think it really sort of flows from the directors who really just have a passion for what they're doing that shows through, and it's really motivating and rewarding for the designers to work with them, and it's so much fun to see something you designed and created up on screen that really helps tell a story or help make a joke work or contributes to the success of the show.